Imagine stepping up to a cash register in the middle of New York City.
Oh, that is immediately stressful just thinking about it.
Right. The store is completely packed, the music is blasting, and there's a massive line of very impatient people right behind you.
Just staring at the back of your head.
Exactly. But, you found a jacket you absolutely love, and you think you are getting an incredible deal.
I feel a butt coming here.
Oh, there's a huge but because you confuse the English word for a regular sale with a clearance sale.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the cashier tells you the total and you suddenly realize you just accidentally spent your entire week's budget.
That's a nightmare.
And to make matters worse, because it was on clearance, you can't even get a refund. So you just have to smile, hand over your card, and, well, I guess eat instant noodles for the next 7 days.
It's a terrifying scenario. And honestly, it happens all the time.
It really does.
Because when you're learning a language, the real world is not a quiet, safe classroom. It is a very fast, very noisy place. And when you're standing at that register, your actual wallet is on the line.
Which is exactly why we are here. Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. Our mission today is to equip you, yes, you listening right now, with the absolute essential English vocabulary for shopping, money, and personal finance.
Because you really need it out there.
You do. So we're looking at a stack of linguistic research and practical everyday usage to pull out the must-know phrases that will help you actually navigate the retail world. Okay, let's unpack this because we are not doing some dry, boring vocabulary drill today. No way. Think of this as a survival guide for your bank account.
I like that, a survival guide. Because language is fundamentally a tool for survival.
Right.
When it comes to managing your finances and making purchases in a foreign country, knowing the exact right word at the exact right time, it doesn't just make you sound more fluent, it empowers you.
Yeah, you feel more in control.
Exactly. It allows you to assert your rights as a consumer, to negotiate, and ultimately, it literally saves you money.
Well, before we can even think about buying anything or saving any money, we have to actually leave the apartment and figure out where we are going.
Good point. You need a destination.
Right. So let's map out the retail landscape. Because in English-speaking countries, simply saying I'm going to the store is, well, it's incredibly vague.
Kind of vague, yeah.
There are highly specific names for different kinds of shops, and getting those categories right dictates your entire strategy.
It does. The English language categorizes retail spaces based on their utility and really the rhythm of daily life. Let's start with the foundational ones.
Okay, hit me.
The supermarket versus the department store.
Ah, yes. The big two.
Right. And intermediate learners often translate both of these simply as big store.
Which makes sense. Physically, they are both big stores.
Physically, yes. But their cultural and practical purposes are entirely different. A supermarket is a large-scale grocery handler. Its primary focus is sustenance. Food, drinks, and maybe some basic household cleaning supplies.
Yeah, the supermarket is your weekly chore. It's where you go to get your apples, your milk, your dish soap, and you leave.
Exactly.
But then you have the department store. And I always like to think of a department store as a massive, self-contained mini city under one roof.
A mini city is a perfect way to describe it.
Right, because it's literally divided into different departments or neighborhoods. Like, you have the cosmetics section on the ground floor.
Usually right when you walk in smelling like perfume.
Always. And then you take the escalator up to the home goods section, and maybe electronics is way up at the very top.
But you are definitely not buying a carton of milk at a department store.
No, absolutely not. They'd look at you like you were crazy.
And knowing that difference changes how you ask for directions. Now, on a much more micro scale, you have the convenience store.
Oh, man. The convenience store is fascinating to me because it's so universal, but it serves such a highly specific purpose.
Like a 7-Eleven.
Yes, exactly like 7-Eleven. If the department store is a mini city, the convenience store is like your trusty pantry that just happens to be open at 2 in the morning.
That's exactly what it is.
It's small, it has really long operating hours, and it sells everyday emergency items. You run in, you grab a bottle of water or some batteries, and you are out in 3 minutes.
Notice how the language reflects intention here. A department store visit might be a special planned trip for a major purchase.
Right, you make a day of it.
But a convenience store run is an immediate, unplanned necessity. If you are traveling and you need a quick snack at midnight asking a local for the nearest department store is going to lead to a very confusing conversation.
And probably a very dark walk to a completely closed building.
Nobody wants that.
No, definitely not. Now, stepping away from traditional brick-and-mortar buildings, there are a couple of other venues you really need to know. The flea market is a big one.
Oh, I love a good flea market.
Me too. This is an outdoor, often sprawling market, and it's basically the cultural hub for finding secondhand or inexpensive goods. It's highly informal.
Very informal.
Yeah.
And contrasted heavily with that physical, sensory experience of a flea market, you have online shopping.
Ah, yes. The modern default for so many of us.
Right. Buying goods over the internet on platforms like Amazon or eBay, it offers the ultimate convenience, but as we'll see later, it requires a slightly different vocabulary when it comes to customer service.
Because you can't actually hold the items before buying them.
Precisely. You're relying entirely on descriptions.
Right. Now, speaking of physically going to a location, there is one massive regional difference we really have to bring up.
The medicine divide.
Yes. If you are traveling and you suddenly get a terrible headache, you need medicine. If you are in the United States, you look for a pharmacy.
Right.
But if you are in the United Kingdom, you ask for the chemist.
And this is a brilliant example of why localized vocabulary matters so much.
Tell me about it.
Because the word chemist in American English strictly refers to a scientist working in a laboratory with, beakers and microscopes.
Right, a literal scientist.
So if you walk up to a police officer in New York and ask, "Excuse me, where is the nearest chemist?" they are going to point you toward the university science department.
Not a place to buy cough syrup.
Definitely not.
Okay, so you've navigated the city streets, you've avoided the university laboratories, and you finally walk through the doors of the correct store.
You've made it.
You've made it. You find the section you were looking for. Now you have to actually evaluate the stuff sitting on the shelves.
This is where it gets tactical.
All right. Let's talk about the vocabulary of quality. How do we accurately describe what we are holding in our hands?
Well, the first major distinction you need to make in English is about the item's history. Is the item brand new or is it secondhand?
Okay, so brand new means?
It means it has never been used by anyone, straight from the factory. Secondhand, which you'll also hear simply called used, means someone else owned it before you.
Right, and you'll see a ton of secondhand goods at that flea market we just talked about.
Absolutely.
And sometimes secondhand is trendy, like vintage clothing. But the word itself just dictates ownership. It's used. Let's talk about the actual physical quality of the item, though.
Good idea.
We often use words like high quality or premium to describe something that is exceptionally well made, uses top-tier materials, and is usually, quite expensive.
Obviously.
But then we have the word durable.
And that is a crucial distinction for a consumer. Because something can be high quality and premium, like think of a delicate hand-blown crystal wine glass.
Very premium.
Very premium. But it is absolutely not durable. If you drop it, it shatters instantly.
Oh, for sure.
Durable implies toughness. It means the item will last a long time, it can endure rough treatment, and it will not break easily.
Like a heavy-duty winter coat?
Yeah.
That's durable.
Exactly.
Which brings me to a word I absolutely love saying, but I hate actually experiencing in real life.
I think I know the one.
The exact opposite of durable. Flimsy. Such a great word. Flimsy means weak, poorly constructed, and easily broken. And here's where I want to push back on this a little bit.
Okay, push back.
If an intermediate learner is listening to this and they are trying to be really efficient with their vocabulary, why do they need to memorize a funny-sounding word like flimsy? Like, why can't you just say, this umbrella is bad?
What's fascinating here is how native English speakers use highly specific adjectives to convey immediate physical properties rather than just general opinions.
So bad is just too general.
Saying a product is bad is incredibly vague. It could be bad because it's an ugly color or because it's too expensive or because the sizing is wrong.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But when you say an item is flimsy, you instantly paint a vivid mental picture of its texture. You are communicating its lack of structural integrity.
Ah, okay. So it's the difference between saying I bought a bad umbrella and I bought a flimsy umbrella. If I tell you I bought a flimsy umbrella, you instantly picture me stepping out into the rain, a single gust of wind hits, and the umbrella instantly snaps and turns completely inside out.
Leaving you totally soaked.
Leaving me totally soaked and miserable. The word itself just sounds weak. Flimsy.
Precisely. Flimsy tells a complete story of weak construction in just 2 syllables. And to avoid buying flimsy things, you need to confidently ask the store staff the right questions.
Right.
This is where language transitions from description to action.
So if you are holding something and you aren't sure about it, you should be asking questions like, what is this made of? Or is it easy to use?
Basic, but important.
But the two most important questions, the ones that act as your ultimate safety net, are, does it come with a warranty? And can I return this if it doesn't work?
Those last two questions are absolutely essential for your peace of mind. A warranty is a written guarantee that the manufacturer will repair or replace the item if it breaks within a certain time.
Right, usually a year or something.
Yeah. By asking these questions out loud, you are doing more than practicing conversational English. You are establishing the terms of your consumer experience.
Speaking control.
Exactly. It takes confidence to ask a native speaker those questions, but knowing the precise phrasing drastically lowers the anxiety of the interaction.
You are protecting your wallet.
Always protect the wallet.
And speaking of the wallet, let's transition to the most high-stakes part of the item, the price tag.
Here we go.
You found a durable, high-quality product. You've confirmed it has a warranty. You are ready to commit. But the second you flip that box over to check the price, a whole new psychological game begins between you and the store.
Value proposition. This is the moment where your grasp of vocabulary directly impacts your bank account.
Yep. Let's start with the good stuff.
The positive language. When an item is on sale, it simply means the store has temporarily lowered the price from its original amount.
Everyone loves seeing that on sale sign. You might also actively use a discount or a coupon. A discount is a specific percentage or dollar amount taken off the price. So you might walk up to the cashier, hand them a piece of paper, or show a code on your phone and say, I have a 20% off coupon for this store.
A great feeling.
And if all those factors combine and you get a truly incredible price, you've found a bargain.
A bargain provides a real psychological dopamine hit.
Oh, absolutely.
It means you bought something for significantly less than its actual value. But then, and you hinted at this in the intro, we encounter the more aggressive, urgent sales language.
The dangerous word.
You will often see massive, bright red signs in a store window shouting the word clearance.
Okay, I really need you to clarify this for me and for the listeners. What is the actual psychological difference between a regular sale and a clearance?
Good question.
Because to the average shopper, they both just look like cheaper stuff on a rack.
It completely comes down to the business logic and the literal meaning of the words. A sale is a temporary promotional tool. The store is lowering the price on popular items to attract you, to get you in the door, with the hope that while you're there, you'll buy other full-priced items too.
Ah, a trap.
A bit of one, yeah. And after the sale ends, the price goes back up. But a clearance, that implies finality and, frankly, desperation.
Desperation from a massive department store, really.
Exactly. Look at the root of the word, clear. They are trying to clear their physical floor space. They want that inventory gone permanently.
Like, get it out of here.
Right. Usually because the season is changing, like trying to sell bulky winter coats in April, or because the product is discontinued. A clearance is their final attempt to empty the shelves.
Oh, wow.
From a shopper's perspective, understanding that desperation is a huge advantage, because the clearance rack is where the most massive bargains hide. But, as you mentioned in your opening scenario, clearance items often cannot be returned. All sales are final.
That context completely changes how I look at those bright red signs. Okay, so we've covered the dopamine hits and the bargains.
Fun stuff.
Right, but we have to talk about the dark side of pricing. The absolute worst feeling in the world of shopping. The dreaded ripoff.
A ripoff is a colloquial term for something that is outrageously overpriced for what it is. The value fundamentally does not match the price tag.
And it's really important to note the difference between something just being expensive and being a ripoff.
Very true.
Like, a luxury sports car is incredibly expensive, but if it has a powerful engine and premium leather, it isn't necessarily a ripoff, it's just out of my budget.
Sadly.
Sadly, yes. But a ripoff is when you are at a music festival, you are incredibly thirsty, and they slide a tiny, flimsy plastic bottle of warm water across the counter and demand $10.
Oh, the worst.
You pay it because you have to, but your soul hurts. That is a ripoff.
The phrase itself is visceral. It feels like the money is being ripped out of your hands.
It really does.
Having the vocabulary word ripoff empowers you to call out that unfairness. It is a very natural conversational phrase that native speakers use constantly to vent their frustration about modern pricing.
So, You've navigated the mini-city of the department store, you've aggressively avoided the $10 water ripoffs, you confirmed the warranty, and you found a genuine bargain on the clearance rack.
You survived the gauntlet.
You survived. Now you are at the checkout line, the place where the transaction actually happens. Let's talk about the language of handing over the money.
At the checkout, the cashier will ask how you want to pay. You have a few methods. The oldest is cash, which refers specifically to physical paper money and metal coins.
It's a classic.
Then you have plastic, your credit card or debit card.
And increasingly, native speakers just use contactless payment. This is when you pay by simply tapping your card or your smartphone on the machine.
It's so fast.
Things like Apple Pay or Google Wallet, it really feels like magic. Though honestly, that magic sometimes disconnects us from the pain of spending.
How do you mean?
Well, handing over physical cash hurts, right? You watch it leave your hand. Tapping a phone just feels like a video game.
It absolutely abstracts the financial reality. It makes it too easy. But regardless of how you pay, once that transaction is complete, you need to manage the aftermath. The very first thing you must do is secure your receipt.
Don't walk away without it.
Never. This is the printed piece of paper or the digital email that proves you made the transaction.
Because in English, there is a distinct difference in how you use that receipt if something goes wrong.
Let's hear it.
Let's say you get home, open the box, and that toaster you bought is completely broken. You take it back to the customer service desk. If you want your money put back into your bank account, you ask for a refund.
The money returns to you.
Right.
Yeah.
You say, I'd like to get a refund for this broken toaster.
But if you actually still want a toaster, and you just want a working version of the same model, or maybe you bought a shirt and you just need a different size, you ask for an exchange.
Oh, okay.
You're trading one item for another of equal value. Using the wrong term here, asking for a refund when you actually mean an exchange can trap you in a very frustrating and confusing conversation with the store staff.
And nobody wants to be confused at the customer service desk.
It's stressful enough already.
So what does this all mean? We are making purchases, asking for exchanges, tapping our phones. These are the micro actions of your daily life. But let's look at how the English language handles the macro level of your money, the big picture of banking and finance.
We aren't going to explain how a bank functions. You already know that.
Yeah, we'll skip the economics lesson.
What's important are the collocations, the specific verbs native speakers pair with financial concepts. For instance, you keep your money in a bank account. But when you need physical cash, you go to an ATM, an automated teller machine.
Right. And the linguistic nuance here is that native speakers rarely say, I need to go get money from the machine. We say, I need to withdraw cash, or more casually, I need to pull out some cash from the ATM.
Exactly, pull out some cash. And ideally, you aren't withdrawing all of it.
Let's hope not.
You want to maintain your savings, the money you intentionally protect for the future. When you keep your savings in a bank account, the bank rewards you by paying you interest.
Free money?
Sort of. Interest is a percentage of your balance that the bank adds to your account over time.
Though it is very important to remember that interest is a double-edged sword. It is also the extra money you pay the bank if you borrow money or if you don't pay off your credit card.
The bad kind of interest.
Very bad. To make sure you are earning interest and not paying it, you need the ultimate financial tool: a budget. A budget is your strict plan for how much money you are allowed to spend.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, maintaining a budget requires discipline. You'll often hear people say, I need to stick to my budget this month.
I always like to think of a budget as a dietary plan for your wallet.
That's a great analogy.
It's the daily discipline that ensures your savings actually grow. And if a budget is a diet, then a high-interest credit card is like eating a massive chocolate cake and just hoping tomorrow's workout burns it off.
And the interest you owe the bank is the permanent weight you gain if you skip that workout.
Exactly.
Every action at the checkout, choosing to hunt for bargains, knowing how to secure a refund, is what allows you to stick to that dietary plan for your wallet.
Everything is connected. Okay, let's say you've safely made your purchases, you've successfully stuck to your budget, you are feeling incredibly financially responsible.
You're doing great.
The next day, you meet up with your friends for coffee and you want to tell them about your shopping adventure. Here's where it gets really interesting.
My favorite part.
To truly sound natural, you need to use the colorful money idioms that we have in English.
Idioms are the spice of language. They are phrases where the meaning cannot be deduced by translating the individual words literally.
Let's look at a very common one: window shopping.
Good one.
This means looking at items in store windows without intending to buy anything. You might tell your friend, I don't get paid until Friday, so I'm just window shopping today.
Just looking.
Going back to our diet analogy, window shopping is basically staring at the bakery window when you are on a strict no-carb diet. You are looking, but you absolutely cannot touch.
It's a fantastic, low-risk way to engage with the retail environment without threatening your budget.
Definitely.
But what if you do have money and you lose your self-control? That brings us to shop till you drop.
Uh-oh.
This means going on a massive shopping spree for such a long time that you are physically exhausted.
You literally drop to the floor. And if you shop until you drop, you are probably going to trigger the next idiom, break the bank.
Another physical one.
This phrase means something costs way too much money or depletes all your funds. Interestingly, we often use it in the negative to describe a really good deal.
Like a bargain.
Right, like I found this amazing winter coat on clearance and it didn't break the bank, meaning it was highly affordable.
Finally, we have perhaps the most famous English idiom for something being outrageously expensive. Costs an arm and a leg. For example, I had to get the screen on my laptop replaced, and it costs an arm and a leg.
You know, I always have to stop and think about this when we discuss idioms. English money idioms are incredibly dramatic, almost violent.
They really are.
We're talking about dropping to the floor from exhaustion, shattering a whole bank, severing our actual limbs, an arm and a leg. Why do we equate spending currency to physical trauma or losing body parts?
It is a brilliant observation, and it taps deeply into human psychology.
And how so?
Historically and practically, money represents our labor. It is intrinsically tied to our survival. You spend your physical energy, your literal life force and time to earn a paycheck.
Wow, okay, that's deep.
Therefore, the language we naturally develop to describe losing a massive amount of that money takes on dramatic physical extremes. Handing over a huge sum of cash feels like losing a piece of yourself. It expresses the literal physical pain of the cost.
Wow, that completely changes how I view those phrases. The pain of the price tag is deeply woven into the language itself.
It is.
Well, we have covered a massive amount of ground today. From navigating the complex mini-city of the department store, to calling out flimsy ripoffs, to sticking to our budget so we don't end up costing ourselves an arm and a leg.
It really functions as a comprehensive linguistic toolkit for anyone looking to navigate the English-speaking commercial world with authority and confidence.
And now, listener, it is time for you to put that toolkit to work.
Time for homework.
Just a little bit. In the research for today's deep dive, there is a specific learning challenge, and I want you to try doing it in your head right now. I want you to fill in the blanks using your own personal shopping habits. Ready?
Let's do it.
First, I usually shop for a blank. At blank, what items at what type of store.
Okay.
Second, when I shop, I always look for a blank. Third, I prefer to pay by blank. And fourth, the last thing I bought that was a genuine bargain was blank.
To give you a sense of how that flows naturally, an example might be, I usually shop for electronics at the department store. When I shop, I always look for a clearance sale. I prefer to pay by contactless payment. The last thing I bought that was a bargain was a pair of noise-canceling headphones.
Perfect. It's a simple exercise, but it forces your brain to connect this new vocabulary directly to your lived experience. Try it yourself next time you are out.
It helps it stick.
It really does. Before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Consider how mastering these specific words actually alters your psychology as a consumer.
It's the concept that the language we use shapes how we perceive the world around us.
Exactly. Does having the precise, sharp vocabulary to instantly identify a product as flimsy or a price tag as a ripoff inherently make you a more critical, careful spender?
I think it does.
Could simply learning the nuances of English finance vocabulary actually help you save money in the long run? Because once you can clearly name the tricks and traps of the retail world, you don't have to fall for them anymore.
That is a very powerful question to ponder the next time you walk through those automatic store doors.
You are now fully equipped to conquer the English-speaking retail landscape, keep your budget perfectly intact, and maybe even snag a brilliant bargain on the clearance rack. Keep practicing, keep questioning those price tags, and we will see you next time on The Deep Dive.